Northeast Delhi has been witnessing violent clashes and really what are fairly unprecedented scenes for the capital in recent times. Well, we decided to have a special edition of and bring it to you live so that we can take your questions as well. In the studio, I have Ananya Bharadwaj, who not only tracks the Home Ministry for us, but has been on the field along with several of our reporters through the day. Ananya, to also clarify to our viewers, I mean, most of them are aware, but just to sort of highlight the fact that this is an important issue, particularly because law and order in Delhi is a subject that falls under the Home Ministry, under Home Minister Amit Shah, and not with the Delhi government. So that's an important clarification to make. What did you see on the ground today?
Ruhi, the situation, because what we were expecting after yesterday when so much violence took place, there was stone pelting, in fact 8 rounds were fired, 5 people were killed, that situation should normalize at least today. The last we spoke to the police last night, they said the situation is under control, but the situation police claimed. In fact, when we went on the ground, we saw that the police had initially claimed that there are about 3,700 personnel on the ground, and the RAF is there, the Riot Control Force is there, and CRPF has moved in. But in reality, when you go there, the police's presence is only in some pockets. So like you'll see 3 policemen sitting with just lathis. Then after like a stretch of 600 meters, you'll see 3 more policemen. So it's all scattered. It's not that there's heavy deployment that's stopping a mob from running a riot in that area. So the situation is bad. They are still setting afire vehicles. The shops are being set on fire. So it's quite bad.
So, Ananya, tell me one thing, just for our viewers who may not be familiar with the geography of Delhi, just to clarify which areas in Delhi, in Northeast Delhi, what are the affected areas?
So, Ruhi, it all began with Jaffrabad, at the metro station in Jaffrabad, where people were protesting against the Citizenship Amendment Act. And a group of people came from Maujpur area, who claimed to be the supporters of the Citizenship Amendment Act, and that's where the clash began. So these areas all fall in the northeast of Delhi. And the other areas that include are Gokulpuri, Jaffrabad, Nandanagri, Selampur, all of these areas. So once you get there, like if you go towards northeast Delhi, say from Signature Bridge, you'll straight land in that area, and it begins from Chandbagh and goes up till Selampur.
So, why has Delhi police not been able to contain the situation? I mean, this is a colossal failure on the part of the administration. This is, as I mentioned, fairly unprecedented.
It is not just the police, Ruhi. It is also an intelligence failure, because it all began, and this is the 3rd day today, and still we could see that people are running a riot. They are burning shops, vehicles, right in the middle of the road. In fact, what we also witnessed was that they were demolishing the boundary wall of a Muslim cemetery. So same sort of violence is also going on in the areas where the Muslim population is a lot more. So the police are trying to contain by, say, lathi charge or throwing tear gas shells, but this is not enough, because the kind of gathering that there is in that area, some solid intervention is a must, and everybody doesn't. I mean, even in fact, we were also surprised when we went, because the Home Ministry has been claiming that the force is on the ground, situation is under control, and still the police, when we spoke to them, they said, no, we are trying, we are sending in our force. You can see the flag marches, the police going from here and there, but there's no effective riot control on the ground.
You know, at this point, I'd like to tell our viewers, do send in your questions. In fact, Ananya, I think we've started getting some questions. Let me make it easier for you and read them out for you instead of. But before that, I just want to know, what does the Delhi police have to say for itself? I mean, as we've discussed, it's been a colossal failure, but I'm sure they have some explanation, something to offer.
All they are saying is that these people are locals. They are, getting together in groups after reading messages on social media. So we are monitoring social media as well, because there's a lot of rumor mongering that is going on, which needs to be stopped. They say that all our force is on the ground. In fact, at the DCP office in Selampur also, the Joint Commissioner, Special Commissioner, everybody is there. But as I said, that what we see on the ground is completely contrary to what their claims are, because they have been saying that we are trying our level best to contain the situation. But what we see is that people in large groups, despite Section 144, which prohibits people from gathering at one place, are running a riot, and nobody is saying anything to them.
Right. Ananya, Adrian David has a question. Why is Arvind Kejriwal turning a blind eye by citing his helplessness? Blind eye to the protests by citing his helplessness.
Ruhi, as you clearly mentioned in the beginning, also Delhi police is not does not fall under the Delhi government. It's with the center. It comes under the Ministry of Home Affairs. In fact, this morning there was a meeting that was held between the Chief Minister and the Home Minister.
And what happened in that meeting? That's actually been an interesting development through the day.
Yeah. So in that, in fact, they discussed all. I mean, what has been happening in the past 3 days, and they reached a conclusion that both the center and the state have to work together in order to contain the violence that is spreading and to control the riots. So now what they said was that after this meeting, they are going to make some peace committees who are going to work towards telling people that they should not get out of their houses, should not believe in those messages that are being circulated on WhatsApp. Then they also said that they'll be doing a surveillance on the ground using drones, though we did not see any drones on the ground till now. Then they also said that they'll be monitoring social media, because they believe that a lot of rumor mongering is happening over the social media, and which is in fact true, because when you go on the ground and you speak to people as to why they are indulging in violence, and that is what they say कि आपने वो वीडियो देखा है जो वहाँ से आया है, ये देखो हमारे भाइयों को कैसे मार रहे हैं, ये देखो हमारे भाइयों को. These are not authentic. I mean, we don't know whether these videos are authentic, but those people are getting angry watching those videos and coming out in the open, reacting to those videos like that.
But Ananya, has the Home Ministry asked for additional forces? I mean, is there a plan to scale up deployment on the ground?
That was the plan. In fact, the MOS Home yesterday, G. Kishan Reddy had said that we are getting in more force, and we have deployed more force on the ground. 37 companies have been called in, CRPF has called in. But as I said, Ruhi, the presence on ground is very limited. The claims may be really high that these many officials are there, these many personnel are there. Yes, there is deployment of RAF also that we saw in pockets. They have just barricaded the areas from stopping people from coming out. But what's happening inside? Nobody is going inside and, trying to contain the situation, or telling people to go inside and not indulge in any sort of violence. No arrests have happened. No, detentions have happened since yesterday. And today the situation was quite bad.
Well, we have another question. Do you see the situation turning worse in the next couple of days, or do you see the police being able to calm things down?
From what we could gather today, Ruhi, because there is no strict police action as such, even on the people who the police can see are creating a ruckus in the area, things can go worse from here. But from what we are hearing is that the police is not acting because they are waiting for Trump to leave, because this is a direction from above, that you don't have to indulge in any coercive action till the visit is over.
Well, but in terms of the battle of optics, it looks bad enough. It's the capital. There is a visiting head of state, the President of the United States, no less, and in the capital. And on one hand, a part of Delhi is literally burning.
No, absolutely, you're correct. It is definitely bad optics, but they believe it'll be worse if videos of police brutality come out in the open. So it could be a reason that is why they are not doing any coercive action. But that is no justification. I mean, if you can see that people are running, amok in a place like that, putting buses on fire, putting like bikes in the middle of the road on fire, and you're not stopping them, you're not putting enough force that could tackle with that sort of a situation, that is no justification.
So the last month or so hasn't been great for the Delhi police, has it? I mean, the Jamia incident happened, the JNU incident happened, now this has happened. Is there a sense on the ground that there is an erosion of credibility, of faith, as far as the Delhi police is concerned?
Definitely. People are talking about the police chief, the Delhi police being a leaderless force, and police chief not stern enough, or, he's not strong enough to deal with these situations, because a test for a police chief are these difficult situations when they crop up. Of course, JNU, as you rightly mentioned, no arrests have been made in that. There was so much brouhaha over, masked goons getting inside the JNU campus. And in fact, there are CCTV footage, and they had also identified a few people, but no arrests have been made. On the other hand, in Jamia, the police went inside the library, and you could see so many videos came out from there. The CCTV footage that was people got from the college premises, that police started beating up students, and they were also seen damaging property, including the CCTV camera. So, of course, it reflects very poorly on the Delhi police, even though they have been claiming that they are a very professional force and they work according to the standard operating procedures. But of course, it is a direct question on the police chief, because he's also set to retire. In fact, he was given an extension, a 1 month extension, but it does reflect very poorly on the force.
Well, SOP is really a question that one doesn't really know how to answer, because Jamia was dealt with differently, JNU was dealt with very differently, and again here there is a fair bit of police inaction. Ananya, what has stood out is Home Minister Amit Shah's silence in many ways. Please explain that.
I don't have an answer to that, Ruhi, because in fact, when Jamia happened, there was nothing from the Home Minister. JNU happened, there was nothing from the Home Minister. Here, at least he has called for a meeting.
Yes.
That's all.
He's not really made a public statement.
He hasn't made a public statement, or he's quite active with his tweeting out, but he hasn't tweeted anything about this violence. It's the third day today. No appeal, nothing. In fact, even Kapil Mishra has tweeted an appeal saying that everybody should stay calm. But Mr. Amit Shah has not tweeted anything. In fact, from what we hear from sources is that he has been working alongside this very busy schedule of Trump's visit. He has been working on this as well, and has called, in fact, last night also the police chief, IB chief, he had summoned both of them, and there was a meeting. He took stock of the situation, how you can control better. But I don't think that meeting has led to anything concrete.
Well, Kapil Mishra's reference reminds me, let's step back a little bit, trace this back a little bit, and just to tell our viewers, how did this erupt? Where did this start?
So it began in Jaffrabad, Ruhi. There's a protest that was going on. People protesting against the Citizenship Amendment Act. They had gathered. They were sloganeering, and a usual protest was happening. Some people called it Jaffrabad's Shaheen Bagh. So a group of people from Maujpur side who claimed to be the supporters of CAA, which from what we are being told were mostly Hindus. So they came from that side, and that is where the clash began. And they started, that there was a clash between the two.
What was Mr. Kapil Mishra's role in this?
Because it was just a day before that he had said that after Trump's visit, we are going to. He had also, given out a statement. A policeman is standing right behind him, and he's giving out a statement saying that we'll give an answer to these protests. There'll be no stopping us. हम इसको खाली करा देंगे, फिर हमें कोई नहीं रोक.
Fairly provocative statements.
Definitely. And what's strange is that no police action against him as well, because we're not saying that we completely blame that statement on mobilizing so many people, but it did play a role somewhere.
Right. Now, Ananya, let's talk a little bit in terms of numbers. As of now, what is the death toll like? How many have been injured, etc.?
So, Ruhi, officially the figure is 8 as of now, but from what we are hearing, because the death toll keeps, changing the numbers. So, from unofficially they're saying 9 people, but officially the police has said that 8 people have died in the clashes since yesterday. This includes 1 policeman who's a head constable, and others are civilians. 2 of them are still unidentified. The bodies are lying at GTB hospital in the area in Northeast Delhi. As far as the destruction of public property is concerned, over 100 vehicles have been torched. This include buses, trucks, and bikes. Plus, they have also, in Nandanagri area, they have also set afire some houses. So that is also there, including some Muslim areas, patches of Muslim colonies. Around 50 shops have been burnt in the area. So these are the figures roughly. No official statement, again, has come out on this, but the death toll, we are certain that it's 8.
And there have also been attacks on journalists.
Yes, definitely, most definitely, because when you go there to cover the whatever is happening, you can't pull out your phone. If once you pull out your phone to record anything, all they tell you is isko andar rakh or bahar nikal, and this is the kind of language that they are using. In fact, there's no policeman around, and what they are telling reporters is that ye hamara kaam hai, this is our work, and we are doing it right, like. We were there at a spot, at the spot, just 50 meters or 60 meters away from the Gokulpuri police station. There's a Muslim cemetery. So they, like a crowd of 150 men were demolishing the boundary wall. And when we went there, I was there, they'll start heckling you and they'll say कि तू अपना काम कर, तू यहाँ से जा, कोई पुलिस वाला नहीं दिख रहा है तो तू भी यहाँ मत दिख, and no reporting will happen from the ground. Go and report from Muslim areas what they are doing to our property. Don't report what we are doing. And this is our job. That is what they are telling you, and they're shooing away reporters. In fact, we were heckled, and they'll start just pushing you around and started throwing stones at our car. So it's very difficult. Like, the situation is really bad, which is why, because once you're there, you will experience it for yourself.
Well, grave situation in Delhi, and the Delhi police and the Home Ministry seem to be doing precious little. And as Ananya is being heckled, being asked not to report, but don't worry, we are still bringing you ground coverage. Our team of reporters has been on the field every day. Do log on to theprint.in. We have a live blog running with updates, and we'll have several stories for you. Thank you so much for watching Government Matters.